Oh, hello. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm just going to get right into it. I messed up terribly. Sorry, I'm trying to be dramatic. I just can't do it. Um, so a couple people have been asking me where my Mr. Beast video went. I don't know if you saw it. It got a couple thousand views on my channel, and I think I only had it up for a couple days. And I ended up taking it down because it was a mistake. So obviously messing up terribly. We're talking about social media here. Uh, I don't know if I'll ever come across the day where what's up, Alyssa? Where I have to make an apology, but I highly doubt that I would feel the need to do that because I don't know. I feel like a lot of these melodramatic apologies are exactly what this um, video talks about. How the whole point of everything that creators do, not the whole point, but the way this whole entire economy works is getting attention. So when you give an apology, you are the center of attention. You know what I'm saying? So I always kind of think whenever I see a creator apologizing, it's just a matter to get attention. But anyway, I wanted to get on here and talk about this because there's been a couple people asking me where this video went. And I actually took it off my channel. I unlisted it and I started a brand new channel. To do all, what's up, guys? Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, I called his attention seeking ass out. I'll explain it all in a second, but can you guys hear me all right? Thanks for coming out. I appreciate it. Um, so basically, what had happened was, I never knew where that come from. I've always heard people say what had happened was, I never got the reference, but I use it all the time. Anyway, all right, cool. So, Mr. Beast, before his Wells in Africa video, got on Twitter and said, "I'm gonna get canceled for this," and it's a trend that I've seen a lot. It's going on right now with a comedian named Matt Rife that he's talking about getting canceled because he made a stupid joke, and not stupid because it was offensive. I mean, some people might find it offensive, but it was a dumb joke. It's like the most cliche joke ever. But anyway, it's something that in my eyes, it's pretty clear that people say they get canceled in order to become the center of attention. And Mr. Beast sends out this tweet. I don't know if you saw it. If you might have seen it even if you haven't seen my video. Mr. Beast sends out this tweet saying, I already know I'm going to get canceled for my building wells in Africa, right? And of course, the media goes crazy with this. And by media, I mean not only news, but more importantly, social media. So many big YouTubers made videos talking about Mr. Beast getting canceled. And in my eyes, it's just like the clearest PR stunt to become the center of attention. A case in point, if you look at Mr. Beast's channel, he's posted videos since then. And I say in my video, I am a millennial. I like to think that I'm in tune with things, but there's always the chance that I missed a memo that canceled doesn't mean what it meant in years past. But if he got canceled, he wouldn't be able to make new $1 million videos. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I made a video basically about how it's really about how social media and this like I don't want to say echo chamber world we live in, but just kind of like this like toxic attention seeking, like create a negative in order to, I don't even know how to explain it with words. Basically, you got to watch the video, but basically I made this video and it didn't have to do with my channel that me, Driver Eddie, right? Internationally known, locally disrespected Uber and Lyft driver. And the reason I took this video down is because, and this is something I'm not apologizing for, but it was something that I was a little upset with myself. I don't care about making mistakes. I make mistakes every day, but the mistakes that really piss me off are when I know better, and I do it anyway, or I should have seen it coming, or whatever you call it, right? And so, like with this video, I stand by everything in this video, and I think it's a pretty good video. But I've been in this game for too long, and one of my weaknesses I know is like branding, because at the end of the day, I I don't see myself as a YouTuber or a creator. I just like to make things. I like comedy. I like videos. I like writing. I like storytelling. I like researching. Um, I don't really like editing. I like the result of editing. I like the ideas of editing. I don't like actually doing the things that it takes to make it happen. But what I'm saying is, like, when I opened my creator reward, I remember saying or alluding to it in the video that I really want to dedicate myself and commit myself to growing this specific driver ed channel, to feed into the book and to feed into the content I have. And at the end of the day, to um, there's what I wish the world was, and there's what the world really is. And right now, the world of YouTube and social media is, you have to niche down, and I'm gonna watch this video I saw on TikTok a couple weeks ago that I saved to watch again. There's this guy that like really breaks down just kind of the current state of the world with, like, specifically he's speaking to Gen Z and about how they basically are not required, but they see this path of success, not just monetary success, but like social success and like fitting in, of like niching down. And like, I mean, this is something that I do for a living. This is something that I do for a living, and it's hard for me as a creative person to put myself in a box, and it's hard for me to put myself in a box of like, oh, I make Uber videos, and I think what I'm getting at, me, I like to ramble, long story long, but like what I'm getting at is that I've at least admitted or come to terms with the fact that, like, okay, I make Uber videos on the Driver Ed channel, but where in years past you could just post videos, and I'm talking 10 years ago, which is centuries ago in social media internet terms, but in the past you could just post videos that might not have to do with each other or explore a little more, things like that. But now things are so niche down that when I go and I share a video that has nothing to do with my niche or topic, so to speak, it's like it just misses the audience completely, and it doesn't get the intent, it doesn't get the effect that I intended. But that said, I'm not going to stop being me, and the lesson is like, the lesson is that, like, when I want to do something like a video like this, I just got to make a new channel that has to do with this. And this is a topic that I studied communications in college, and this is a topic that I think about a lot. I think it's one of the more important topics that doesn't get enough credit. People say, "Oh, you study communications? What, you learn to communicate?" No, the study of communications is social media, is the way media affects everyday life. And again, people talk about how, like, oh, the younger generation, the anxiety rates are higher and depression's higher, and things like unalive unaliving themselves, as you have to say on social media, ironically, because otherwise you'll get censored, is higher, and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, well, what has changed here, people? It's obviously these phones are driving us nuts. And the only reason it's hitting Gen Z so hard is because they have the free time to use phones more than other people. And then on top of that, they're still developing more so than adults are. They're more impressionable, I should say, right? So yeah, I find this stuff really interesting. So I meant to put a link. So if you are interested in stuff in this, and I'll put it in my community tab too when I sign off, maybe a little later. Oh, I gotta sign in the chat. I hate this. Hold on. Here we go. There we go. So then, adults are. How do I comment here? Oh, I got it. Oh, here we go. Got it. All right. Oh, come on, dog. Now I gotta pin it. No, I'm not trying to like my own comment. I'm trying to pin it. Man, I am not good at this stuff. Boom. Pin message. Got it. All right. So anyway, that's where I messed up, so to speak. But yeah, and I do, I feel like that's a good barometer for anyone. That's what I always try to tell people. I mean, it's what I tell myself. Like when you make a mistake, who cares if you make a mistake? The mistakes that suck is when you know better. You know what I mean? Like you know. So I was working on another channel, ironically, the Cheesesteaks Eddie Eats channel, and it's one of those things where just the other night, like I had a bowl of cereal at like 10 at night, and I just know my body, I know me, and I knew eating that bowl of cereal, I was gonna sleep like crap and feel like crap the next morning, but I did it the other day, or I did it anyway. So like, that mistake is, a little different than knowing that I was messing up, knowing that I was gonna do something. You know what I'm saying, man? I can't even talk today. All right, get it together, Ed. You know what I'm saying. All right. So yeah, that's why I do feel like I messed up, just because I know better than to share it on this channel, and I do really want to grow this channel. I just get like the creator in me and just a human in me, just a person in me. I mean, I've always been like that. Like when people are like, "Oh, what do you do?" Like, well, what? I hate it. Like when you're out at a bar, what are you up to these days? Like I'm at the bar drinking a beer, man. Like, why does, But I just hate the label. I hate the box, But that's what life is, I guess you gotta take those. It's like a way to get information, and people, you got to put people. I talk about it in both of my books. I actually remember bringing this topic up, but like you have to put people in boxes to kind of garner information in a short period of time. But it's just kind of like, I don't know. It feels confining, the creative spirit in me, the free spirit, I just want to break free, and so, maybe part of posting it was like the rebel in me that's like, I'm not just a Uber channel, but that's why I like Uber content, because I feel like Uber content always speaks to bigger issues in the world. But anyway, that is my spiel. And yeah, I'm gonna go back to getting the Uber content. Just focus on the Uber content. I just gotta remember, I'm not putting myself in a box. It's just a channel. And as a consumer, as a viewer, we all do that. I know. If you turn on a TV station and say there's sports on the Disney Channel, you'd be like, what the hell is going on here? But yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Yeah, exactly. Ricardo, what's up, man? Leon, exactly. And yeah, and that's exactly what I talked about in the video, how he was just looking for more attention. And honestly, I say in the video, like, he's obviously good at what he does, and if that's what he needs to do in order to grow his videos, in order to do more stuff like that, then, all fine by him. It's just what bothers me is that it creates this idea of, when Mr. Beast says that he gets canceled for building wells in Africa, it creates this idea for somebody who doesn't know better that we live in a world where you can't even do good otherwise you'll get shit on by other people. You know what I mean? And I think that translates, something I talk about in this video, and I see it a lot at, like, I called it unintentional platforming. And the idea is like, you see these really crazy radical ideas, and I think the right, so to speak, like conservatives, like Daily Wire and all those kind of channels, Fox News, I think they do a really bad job of finding the most radical position that like 0.0001% of people believe in, and putting them on their platforms to say, look how crazy this is, and this is how everybody thinks. And it creates this idea that there are more people like that. And the problem with that is that the few people out there that do think like that are otherwise like, oh man, uh, I was never going to share this craziness to begin with, but wow, there are a lot of people that think like me. Let me be as crazy as possible because I'll be accepted. And then it becomes this thing. I think the most perfect example of this is the whole bathroom situation. And I don't want to turn this into, I try my best not to share my own views on this. But I just like to put it out there and let people decide, and see just show you, just relay my experience. I know sometimes people might think it's trivial or stupid to talk about things like an Uber ride, or like my book of it's kind of funny right now. So right now I got my book right here, and the book I'm reading is The People's History of the United States, right? And in my opinion, these are like the same book. This is the same exact book. This is like George Washington. This is like the most, literally the biggest events in American history, right? And this is what some may look at, trivial Uber rides from some Uber driver in Philadelphia. And, it doesn't escape me. Like I'm dissecting things people say to me, or whatever it is, right? The tips somebody gives me, or something like that. And the reason I like stories like that, and I like listening to stories like that, like small stories from a person's personal experience, is because I wasn't there at Valley Forge when Washington was encamped, and whoever wrote this book wasn't. And the stories you get, I mean, three people watch an event, you're going to get three different stories, right? So the reason that I like personal stories like that is because, like, I know it's true to me, and this is my actual experience, and I think there's a lot of value in hearing people's actual experience. So anyway, that's why I like stories like that. And shoot, I kind of forgot where I go with this, because I was thinking about this book. I don't know if anyone's ever read this book, but it's really good. But yeah. So shoot, I totally lost my train of thought. I was trying to think of stories to relate from that book to compare to that one, and I got a little lost. Oh man, who is Navaja? I will not throw up in your Uber again. Is that all right, I don't know if you're just joking, because if that's who I think it is, that'd be wild. Um yeah, firsthand experience, but like I guess what I'm saying is, like, I know it's true to me. Like when if I were to tell you a story about I don't know, the Kensington, something in Philadelphia, I don't know if you would know that. Like Kensington's like the homeless encampment. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about the bathroom situation. So if I were to talk to you about the homeless encampment in Philadelphia, I can give you my perspective, but there's a lot of other elements, or honestly, like things like data and effects on economy, and all these other things that, like, I might not know, or I might not have considered, that could, the more I think about it or go into it, it's going to completely mean something else, So I guess it's harder for me to make a judgment on something that I'm not directly involved in. And that's the problem with politics. That's the problem with living in a country with 300 million people. We live in this crazy, gigantic country with so many different, like, obviously not perspectives, but like different things that happen to people, like traffic in Philadelphia is different than traffic in South Dakota. You know what I mean? Like things like that. So anyway, but as I was saying, like with the bathroom situation, right? So when this becomes this issue of, look at these people trying to use the bathroom and and again, I'm not trying to, that's what I was saying. So I'm not trying to put any of my own beliefs. I'm just trying to share what happened to me and then let you decide. So when you have someone like the Daily Wire, or Matt Walsh, who like just makes his whole career of showing the most crazy videos that he can find on the internet, it gives the idea that it's more prevalent than it actually is, and it also gives the crazy people out there this feeling that like there's more of them, and then they're more willing to go and be crazy out in public, and it's just this big cycle that snowballs the whole thing. And my whole case in point, to sum it all up, sorry, I'm just coming off the top here, so that's why it's not I'm a writer at heart, baby, and I like writing because I can edit all this shit out. If I were to take this transcript, I could make it like 90% shorter. But the point is, and I feel like everybody in the chat can relate to this, you got this whole issue with the bathroom thing. It's all over the news, and gender neutral bathrooms and this, that, and the other, and yada, 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 right? Never once in my entire life, and I drive Uber, so I'm going into a lot of public bathrooms because when I'm out, I'm going to use a public bathroom, right? Never once in my life have I ever been in a bathroom or in a facility and there was an issue with the bathroom. Ever. Never once. And I feel like 99.99999% of people can relate to that experience. But the problem is, you go on your social media feed and you see Matt Walsh talking about how they're invading the bathrooms, and then you see somebody on the other side saying, they won't let my kid use the bathroom. Yeah. And it's like, dude, if you just didn't talk about it, everything would have been fine. You know what I mean? Like, just let them go do their thing. And you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my point with this whole, and don't get me wrong, I like Daily Wire. I like a lot of what they do. I'm just talking with this specific issue. I feel like was made bigger by the people, and not just this specific issue. It happens a lot. I think that's just the most obvious, easy example. But I just think a lot of issues are made bigger by the people who are against them or who don't stand for them. Case in point, Mr. Beast. He says he gets canceled. If he doesn't say he gets canceled, nobody says he gets canceled. But Mr. Beast says he gets canceled, so now everybody says that he's canceled. Even though every video and every news article talking about Mr. Beast getting canceled doesn't give any examples of anybody with, any real pull to cancel him. They just give examples of Mr. Beast saying, oh, he got canceled. So that's my spiel, long story long. All right, let me catch up on the comments, and then we can watch this. I want to watch this this guy, Matt Lawrence. I found him on TikTok. I saved the video. It was a little long, so I want to watch it in full. But he was talking about exactly the kind of stuff I want to talk about on this Media Theorist channel. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, Polycommunications. So I used to work at a Holocaust museum, and what's his name? I think it was Goebbels, was the minister of propaganda for the, or was Goebbels the doctor? No, Mengele was the doctor. I always mix them up. Goebbels was the minister of propaganda for, the, I don't even know. See, that's another thing about, I don't know if I'll get flagged for saying this stuff. So, that party in Germany that didn't do good things. And he was like, he's a really interesting, I'm sure you'll learn about him in that class. And that's a really interesting case study. YouTube works in boxes. Would you recommend leasing a car for Uber on Uber app? No, I would definitely not. And I'm actually going to put a video together soon. So I got a video coming out tomorrow about, I like to do like see how much Uber drivers are earning now. So I dedicated myself to the week of Thanksgiving. I just finished editing that video. And then I'm going to follow up with that video with a like how to maximize your earnings. And for most people, I would say I don't think leasing a car for Uber is good. But given on your situation, if you don't have a car and you want a car, but a lot of the times from people I've talked to, basically, if you lease a car from Uber, you're signing up to work 25 hours a week in exchange for that car. So that's usually what it works out to be. Like whatever market you're in, they've priced it so that you're going to have to work 20 to 30 hours just to pay off that car, and then anything extra you'll be able to pocket. So yeah, I mean, honestly, if you like want a new car, like you could lease a new Tesla and get 25, work for 25 hours, and now you're driving a new Tesla for the rest of the week. That's up to you. But I've never really been one to. The cars I would want to lease are not cars that would be good for Uber. I'm talking like a 1960s Cadillac, pulling up in a boat. I still don't know if Navaja is who threw up in my Uber, but I am subbed to Mr. Beast. I'm not hating on him. And this is exactly what this guy's going to talk about. I'm excited. I hope Boston Aviation watches this video. Like, you can't have a singular opinion. I can like Mr. Beast. I have a lot of respect for what he does. I mean, whoever, you'd have to be crazy not to. But like, you can not like something somebody does and still like it. It's just the world we live in. It's the world of the unsub and sub kind of world we live in. It's crazy. And also, I guess you can see. Oh, look, you can see my subscriptions right there on the left. That's very ironic. I was like, how the hell did he know I was subscribed to him? Yeah, I don't know where Blue's been. All right. Oh, Kristen, that's right. You're a Chiefs fan. Man, that was a crazy game. Wait, I'm mixing up the Eagles and the Bills. What was the Chiefs game? I'm trying to remember what happened in the Chiefs game. I really don't remember. I'm going to have to look that up. All right, let's see. Everyone has a bias, though. That's right. Video camera, best invention ever. All right, you got me, Navaja. Haven't had time to read books other than ones I have to read for classes. Dude, Animal Farm, 1984 in Manchuria. Oh, it makes sense. You're in poli-sci. And, or polycommunication. Truman Show. So that's my, the thumbnail there. That's the part of the Truman Show. I've rewatched it. Truman Show is a really good one if you're, for communications. I won't show that clip because that's a spoiler alert central. But just saw the title. Oh yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good, Mario. I appreciate it. I have not watched Lady Ballers. I never saw the channel for it. It was like the drunk cinephile or drunk cinema or something. Cinema drinks. I don't know what it was. But he kind of said what I thought it would be like. I'll let you watch the review if you're interested. Basically, a lot of those movies, I feel like Lady Ballers would lean one way, the same way that, SNL, I think, is a good example, leans the other way, where it's like, all right, you're not really making good jokes. You're not really making a good story. You're just mocking an idea. Um, Man, tap out corner. Tap out corner. It tap out corner. If you guys aren't sub to tap out corner, I don't know. I mean, what a guy. Um, Tap out corner. What we're looking at is my new channel here. As a YouTube guru yourself, who absolutely crushes it. If you're a wrestling fan and you're not subscribed to Tap Out Corner, you're missing out. So long story short, I'm going to sum this up for anyone who's just joining now, including Tap Out Corner. What we're looking at is I had uploaded a video about Mr. Beast on this channel, the Driver Eddie Uber channel. And, this video is something I'm personally interested in. And it's a good video, my opinion, totally unbiased. But it's not fitting for my channel. And something that, I know better at this point is like, I know I'm not good at branding, but I'm good enough to know that I shouldn't have put it on my channel, and it definitely didn't miss or didn't hit with the audience. And it's not what people have subbed my channel for, so I got to respect that. So I don't want to waste their time. Not everybody's interested in, things like this. So I started a new channel, Media Theorist, and basically all the kind of stuff like communications and social media theories and, things like that I think is really relevant and really important is on there. And this isn't a channel I'm going to devote a ton of time to, but it's, it's one of those channels that, when I have that itch to break outside of my Uber box, I can have that there. But I really appreciate that, Tap Out. You're the best. Have you watched The World Is Too Big? Never seen someone, you've never seen it personally, right? You've never seen someone personally, but, I don't know where you live, but, I mean, that happens multiple times a day in Philadelphia. So, like, going back to the, whatever, I don't want to revamp that again. It's just like, I know I would just encourage you to just, when you see somebody talking about something crazy, think about how many times you've seen it in your life. Another perfect example of this is, I'll never forget this. I was down the shore. It was summertime. We were, right by the ocean. And my mom told me this story about, it's a tragic story. I hate even thinking about it. Someone was on a ferry, a boat, like a tourist boat or whatever it was, and a kid falls over, and the parent jumps in to save it, and they're both gone, right? And it's like the saddest, most tragic, awful, like that something like that doesn't make me happy, Like I was like, geez, like I'm looking at the ocean, I'm looking at a boat, I'm like now I'm like scared of where I'm at, right? And I was like, this happened in Ocean City, New Jersey. Like this happened in New Jersey. This happened in the city we're at. And I was like, no, it was a news story in Iceland, And it's like, that's the world we live in, where 50 years ago, I would have never heard that story. But now, every tragedy from every corner of the world, it has the opportunity to be relayed to you like that, And I guess you just, and I'm not taking away from that tragedy. I'm not saying that bad things couldn't happen in Ocean City, New Jersey. But, when you realize that something like that happened in Iceland, you should think about, you don't because we're emotional creatures, but you should think about the fact that, okay, there were, I'm making this number up, I don't know if there'd be millions, there are at least hundreds of thousands of boats that, there are definitely millions. There are millions of boats that go out on the water every day. And hey, you're talking to somebody, I never met them, but my ancestors passed in a boating accident. So I'm not just talking out of my ass here. Like I'm not terrified of boats, but being on a boat isn't my favorite thing. So I'm not, just talking about this lightly, but like, you got to think, millions of boats have, set sail every day, and that tragedy that my mom relayed from Iceland doesn't happen, and I guess that's what I'm saying when I talk about these extreme, uh, either events or ideas or whatever it is, get a spotlight because of the world we live in. So yeah, that's what I got. That's what I want to do after college, but also want to work in politics. Very cool. Man with a weird mustache. Sorry, a little behind. Awareness of an issue doesn't mean they're making a big deal out of it. Awareness of an issue doesn't mean they're making a big deal out of it, though. I had to catch a stream. What's up, Tom? Delco in the building. Somebody called out my accent in the Uber the other day. They were like, "You're from Delco." Amen. Packers won that game. Wait, now, I forgot the Chiefs. What Packers game we talking about, dude? What's with the Packers being 15-0 under what's his name in December? I wish I knew that before I bet against them. Oh, that's right. The Travis is Kristen still here? The Travis Kelce fumble. That's right. The Chiefs should have won that game 100%. We got a little luck with that. Niche down on YouTube. Back to the lab again, yo. This whole Rhapsody. I moved away from South Jersey. Nice. Not real. Moved away from South Jersey a few years ago, and my voice reminds me of home. Dude, it's so funny you say that because I see so many creators that I feel the same way. It's just we sound different, man. Oh, jeez, man. Talking to me. Yo, no way. Berserk, you're Turkish? I'm Armenian. That's wild. Seriously, that is so cool. And yeah, and that's not to demonize 100%. And that's like the kind of things, there's a lot of good that comes with social media that we can't forget 100%. That's so funny. That's cool. According to Man, that's again, the internet. How you that's interesting that you can look that up. Now, is that in the United States or is that the world? And I was also in my accounting, they might be like registered ships, but I'm thinking of like the rinky dink, wooden boats that, basically what doesn't India have like 1 billion people? And I'm sure there's a lot of so basically, there's is there 6-7 billion people in the world now? And the majority of them live on a coast. So I don't know. That'd be interesting. I would bet it. All right, whatever. Stupid. What's up, BL? Thanks, BL. Do I watch the UFC? Yeah. So I actually have a friend of mine that I grew up with who's in the UFC, Andre Petrosky. And whenever he's fighting, I make it a point to watch. And then otherwise, I'm like a casual fan, a big fight. There's a lot of, there's a lot of fights where I'm like, what am I looking at? Like I don't get it, and the announcer's getting all technical and stuff like that. But yeah, that's 8 billion people. Yeah, so with 8 billion people, there's got to be at least 1 million of them that take a ship out every day, some sort of boat, or at least on a boat. How about that? I mean, that's a no-brainer. On a boat for sure. All right, cool. Well, I appreciate you guys coming out. So yeah, I want to, man, this always happens. I told myself I'm going to be on here for like 20 minutes, and I I have a lot of fun, and goes longer than I want. So I want to watch these 2 videos, and this is the kind of stuff that would be on the channel on my pinned comment. Again, I don't know how often I'll post, but if you're into this stuff, I recommend it because I think this stuff's really important. I found this guy on TikTok, and I saved these videos. And these 2 in particular, I remember. So let's give these a little. Tell me if you can hear this. Man, I don't know if I've ever played TikTok on my. Oh, there. No. Why is this? Oh, will this not let me? Oh, whoa. Come on, dog. I don't know why this won't let me play. Oh, man. There we go.
To really popular content that condemns things from
Can you guys hear that?
Plus, growing up where even the slightest transgression against the status quo will get you posted. Constant exposure to really
All right, stop. Pause. There's a lot of information up in here, so we can't miss any of it. Can you hear it? This guy's about to drop so much knowledge. I'm telling you, this is like one of the best videos I've seen in a while. All right, here we go. We're gonna make this real loud up in here. Tell me if you can't hear it. High, left, right, left, left. All right, let's rock.
Constant exposure to really popular content that condemns things for being cringe, plus growing up where even the slightest transgression against the status quo will get you posted on Twitter and clowned on by thousands of anonymous people, has led Gen Z to become extremely paranoid of anything that goes against the grain. While they might think that they're the most alternative generation because like they're all into Duster or whatever, everyone is actually getting just as good as their parents at dismissing alternative ideas, becoming fearful of having an actual personality, and making the world actively worse for people that already didn't fit into the social order in the first place. So what this leads to is people kind of weaponizing cringe as a form of self-defense, because if you're self-aware, then you can't be called out for being cringe or being like too into one of these things. I've noticed especially in the fashion niche that there's like a very, very healthy meme community where basically everyone is constantly making fun of themselves or people who are too deep on the fashion iceberg. It's not a problem for any given interest to be making fun of themselves. That actually is pretty healthy. However, it seems to me like the more you get into an interest, the memes about that interest always portray extensive knowledge or passion as being embarrassing. People who don't like Marvel are trying too hard to be different, but people that dress in all Rick Owens are fashion NPCs. And I think that does represent a larger social trend of anti-intellectualism. Not in the sense of that people don't want to learn things, but it's just a strange cultural aversion to passion and knowledge. But this kind of fails because self-awareness is not equal to an admittance of cringe. You can be aware of the things you do and self-aware that you're like a dude that's really into trains. But
so that I don't think is like unique to Gen Z. I mean, the term try hard has been around forever. And there's always like that, there's always been that sense of like, it's not cool to try, or it's not cool to like, there's always been that sense. That's not new, but I think what's really interesting that he points out is that the polarization of it and the fact that, if I was a tryhard, there's that band Gym Class Heroes, and I remember that was like a joke when I was in school. Like if somebody tries hard in gym, the guy who's sweating like crazy in gym class, who's like, pegging the girls in dodgeball and, trying his best to whatever in gym class, he might have gotten made fun of by a couple people in high school, but now he could get posted on Twitter and get roasted by literally the entire internet, So that kind of, it's not that I disagree with him where I don't think that it's a new thing, but I think the extent of it is literally like something never seen before on earth. And the other thing I thought he said something else towards the end of the video I really liked, but in the beginning of the video, I'll just watch the end of it.
But that shouldn't have to come with admitting to other people that your interest in trains or Sonic or anything is cringe. It's just what you're interested in. And this is why you have influencers like Diddy Bop that can go so crazy. Because cringe can work if you're in a friend group of good-looking guys listening to trending rap music and wearing designer clothes. But it doesn't work if you have legitimate social issues or outsider interests, and you just get relentlessly harassed online or in real life for being different. The constant race to be the main character and have a spotless record where you never do anything cringe or cancelable or anything has seemingly caused everyone to grow a profound fear of being both an outcast and part of a group. But we'll talk about that in the next video where we address the identity crisis.
I thought that was like so good. Like you can't be an outcast, but you can't be part of a group. And again, none of this stuff is new, but the extent of it is just insane. All right, I think this is the one that I really liked. Why is this not working? This is pissing me off, man. Oh, it's killing me, Smalls.
We need to talk about Core. I saw a TikTok yesterday.
I don't know about that. Dude, this drives me nuts. Oh, here we go. No, that was the last one.
Constant exposure to really popular content that condemns things for being cringe, plus growing up where even the slightest transgression against the status quo will get you...
Killing me, dog.
So being in a constant state of surveillance, plus being shown that the way to succeed is to hyper-compartmentalize every single aspect of your personality and neatly label it for a Pinterest search, I think is causing young people to freak out about what it means to have an identity. But
dude, right there. That is everything right there. So, later, Abe's main. So... all right, sorry guys. I get my ADDs all over the place. That right there, what he said is like, it sums it all up. And I specifically wanted to talk about that beginning, because I started driving Uber in 2016, pre-TikTok. I was a pre-Talk Uber driver, and it's anecdotal, but it's very apparent to me how, when I was doing like the Uber ride-alongs or the Uber confessions, people were so excited. It was fun. Like they want to get on YouTube. It's a fun thing. We're going out. It's a fun memory. Kids in college now, when I started driving, it was probably the tail end of millennials, and now it's Gen Z that's in college. Kids in college now are like deathly afraid of the camera. It's like if they're taking an Uber to a party in college, they're like, oh my God, you can't post this. I'll never get a job. And it's like, what, do you think you're the only person? First of all, nothing you're doing in this Uber is that interesting that anyone want to watch. And two, like, do you think that when they see that you went to Westchester University, one of the biggest party schools in the country, you think they're going to assume that you were one of the minority of students that didn't party in college? And if that's the case, like, do you think that would be a good thing? Like, honestly, it'd probably be a worse look if you were applying to a job, depending on the job. But if you were going into pretty much anything business and they were like, oh, you never went to a party in college, they probably wouldn't hire you for that reason. And I don't know, you say in this day and age, your stupidity is going to be forever on the internet. That's true. But it's like, and it's something I talked about in that Mr. Beast video, like, people move on, like people, as long as you're not doing anything evil, you know what I mean? If you're going to be stupid, there's so much content on there. What makes you think that anyone would care about what you do? You know what I mean?
What I think older generations need to realize about Gen Z and Gen Alpha is that we live in a surveillance state that is completely unprecedented in the history of time. Obviously, there's like the government surveillance state, which has obviously exploded post 9/11 and through the boom of technology. But there's also another surveillance state that comes from literally everyone around us all the time. No previous generation has ever seen their behavior noted, replicated, shared, and condemned at the level that kids see it today. Because everything becomes a defined niche, everything becomes a meme. One of the most interesting phenomenon that I've noticed as I've been using TikTok is the idea of niching down. This is an idea that's been on social media forever, but I think it's really, really big on TikTok. Basically, creators, and we are all creators at this point, need to find the most specific possible thing that they can do for their content, that they can replicate over and over and over again, lest they be forgotten by their audience and left behind by the algorithm. This is why TikTok has a huge population of creators that literally do one joke forever, and it's really, really hard to kind of break out of being known for just that one thing. So since the way to success is constant niching down, this effect has actually bled into these kids' everyday lives because they're online all the time. So this leads to kids basically going through their personality and going through the things they enjoy, neatly boxing them up into a bunch of different categories and describing themselves through those things. Now, in 2023, all day, every day, I'm probably going to be getting shown kids that dress exactly like me, listen to the same music as me. For a while, it might feel like I'm gaining a community online and seeing that there are other people who are just like me. Until a video comes along where the comments are calling people that dress like me and like music like me NPCs. And there's a new series of videos that make fun of the subculture that I've become attached to. And this is what I was talking about in my cringe video. You can't be a follower because you're an NPC, but you also can't be an outcast. So you have to be a tech gorp cottagecore breakbeat enthusiast whose personality differentiates from other people because you wear a different type of raver pants. Social media has democratized virality to the point that anyone can become viral, especially if they create a specific niche. So while it might be easy to try to tell these kids just turn off the TikTok, there is a monetary and social capital drive to be performing and filming at every single moment, marketing yourself at every single moment. And you can't blame the kids. The platforms are showing them day after day that this is how you succeed, this is how you become popular, and this is how you become wealthy.
Dude, that right there, that is you can that could be a semester in communications. Social media, you could get that's a degree in social media theory right there. Like that is probably the smartest TikTok I ever seen. Sorry, I think I'm a little loud here. Blowing up like you thought I would. Call the crib, same number, same hood. There you go. It's all good. And that right there, and again, like I've seen it in my Uber, and it's something I think about, you know, it's something like, it's wild, you know, it's wild to think, you know, there's a part of me, I'm like, am I contributing to this? And it's not even, oh man, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. But yeah, that, man, see, that's another thing where, like, you know, I see these creators, they do these react videos, and maybe my brain just doesn't work like that. But, like, they just have a immediate reaction, and it's like, I don't know, man. I like to sit on things and really think about it and think about the converse to the argument and the other side and where he could be wrong and stuff like that. But, I don't know. Maybe a lot of these reaction videos aren't actual reactions, so they have thought about it. I'm not sure. But, man, that's
every single aspect of your personality and neatly label it for a Pinterest search, I think is causing young people to freak out about what it means to have an identity. But I think completely unprecedented in the history of time that comes from literally everyone around us.
Oh, that was the other thing I thought of when we're living in a surveillance state of like other people. You know, a lot of these times, and I can't be the only one, like you see these videos and something's happening. Like the one I always think about is you see somebody at a baseball game and it's usually a dude and he's texting someone that's like obviously not his significant other or maybe he's single, but he's just texting something, you know, weird. And the person sitting behind them at the baseball game is videotaping the text. And it's like, oh, you know, I'm doing this for the wife or like, you know, caught cheating or whatever it is. And it's like, what a just a shitty world, you know? Like, and I'm not, like, I don't know. no, what drives me crazy about those videos is like nobody talks about how intrusive those nobody talks about how intrusive those kind of videos are. They're just like, ha, we got them, you know? And it's like, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's good to, cheat on your significant other. But it's just kind of like, why stick your nose into that? And I even feel like that, I'll be honest, like with my Uber, even when somebody's like blatantly wrong or disrespectful to me, I like to blur their faces out. And even blurring their faces out, I don't like it sometimes because I'm like, this isn't, we all make mistakes, and it's something I think about myself where, all right, I know they're in my car and, I'm a stranger to them. So, and honestly, I don't know if you've ever picked this up on my videos. A lot of times I cut it out, but most of these, I hope this isn't too loud. A lot of these videos, especially when people are acting all ratchet, they're filming themselves on Snapchat and they're filming me. And I'm like, I always think like, if I put you on my YouTube without your face blurred, you'd probably be upset about it. So why is it that you can put me on your Snapchat and say whatever it is you're saying about me? What is it? Because I have a bigger channel than you? I don't know what kind of channel you have. Maybe you have what if your thing goes viral? So anyway, again, I'm just kind of rambling and processing my thoughts out loud. But we do live in this like. And the flip side of it then is like, okay, you should know that every time you get in an Uber, Gen Z should know more than anyone. Every time you get in an Uber, you're probably being recorded and that everything has the potential to go viral. So like the fact that you're acting like that is just a sign of blatant disrespect because you think I'm just an Uber driver. You know what I mean? But anyway, as this guy was saying that I thought was just so interesting that I never thought about. As I said to start this stream off, and I'm going to wrap this up soon. This is something that I'm doing, full time, and I have a hard time thinking about niching down, and I'll still post a video like the Mr. Beast thing that has nothing to do with my niche. I can't even imagine being in middle school or high school and having to think about a niche to fit into, to post online, to hang out with in school, to like be like, and something I have thought about before that I think is pretty wild is like, when I was in school, you kind of look to other people, you look to the people around you as to like what's cool or what's trending. And like now they have literally the whole internet to tell them what's cool and what's trending, and what's outside of that is like, what are you doing? And that's exactly what this guy's speaking to. Anyway, this guy is Matt Lawrence. I gotta shake and bake. Where is I guess his name is Little Freak 26. If you're on TikTok, I think the man's a genius. I'd recommend his content if you're interested in this stuff. And give those videos another listen. Let me check these comments out, then I gotta roll. R.I.P. Grandma, indeed. Berserk, if you're still here, she was a purebred Armenian, 100%. I'm only 50. I'm half Odar. I don't know if you're familiar with that word, but that's it's like, not full Armenian. Thanks, Puff Muffin. Oh, Cedric, I got a whole video about the Uber Teens account stuff. You should check it out. Next video tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So Rad Trad said, if you're stupid enough to do that at a baseball game, I agree. Don't get me wrong. And that's, the same kind of thinking with like, if they're going to act like that in my Uber, if they're stupid enough to act like that in my Uber, don't get me wrong. I just think, when I make videos, I try to think like, okay, would I say that to this person if they were in this room? It's the same thing with like, trolls on the internet. I've been listening to that back-to-back song a lot recently. Trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers. it's like if these people on the internet, Kid Cudi has a great line about it too. He's like, I keep the hand sanitizer on deck. How's the line go? Haters shake my hand. Haters shake my hand, so I keep that hand sanitizer on deck. I'm missing a word there, or maybe I'm adding an extra beat. But basically, it's like, you got these people that say things online, but in real life they would never say that. And it's one thing to do a comment, but to post a video, like, what drives me crazy, if you are stupid enough to do that at a baseball game, don't get me wrong. But here's the thing, like, everybody who takes that video at the baseball game of the guy sending that text doesn't confront the guy. Like, he doesn't say, the person taking the video isn't saying to the guy, I'm going to post this on, you shouldn't do this, I'm going to post that on the internet. Like, if they actually cared about anything other than getting those views or the shock value of that content, don't you think they'd tap that person on the shoulder and be like, hey, you're drunk at a baseball game right now, but I think you're going to regret it tomorrow when you wake up sending those texts. Maybe you should stop. They don't say that. They take the video because they care about the significant other. Like, come on, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. And so, yeah, and that's something I'll be honest, I struggle with that with my own content. Like, I try to weigh the benefit and the negatives of, like, okay, am I adding value or helping someone by sharing this, or am I just shitting on the person that disrespected me because I'm angry and I feel slighted? I appreciate that, medium large. South Jersey, what's up? Later, DZ. Yeah, I'm about to roll out of here too. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Man, an hour. I told you I was just going to do 20 minutes, but yeah, this was a lot of fun. And yeah, that's the new channel if you are interested. And do video tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Later, guys. I always forget how to sign out.